Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Racing Girls Rock, the podcast for International Women's Motorsports Association. I hope you'll join us, and if you're watching us recorded, that's great too. We love having you do that because we know that 7 p.m. Eastern Time doesn't always work for everyone around the world, and we luckily have listeners from all over the world, which is exciting for us, and we're glad we're able to record this so that they can watch it later. Sometimes I'm a little negligent about mentioning the sponsors that we have, and I want to make sure that I let you know that the people that help me keep this going are so very important, just like the marketing partners, sponsors, whatever you want to call them, on your race car or for your race team. It's the time of year that if you haven't already gotten some marketing partners, you're scrambling probably to do that right now. And if you're in Michigan, the weather's not the greatest. So we hope that we can help you with some questions you might have. And if you have any questions, you can certainly send those to me and we'll try to address those in another podcast. But first I want to mention the sponsors and thank them. So the first one is Gail and Steve Zintech. They've been behind me for a very long time, and they own Network Team Homes Realty in Kalamazoo, and it's part of the eXp Realty team. If you haven't heard of eXp Realty and you are a realtor, you should check it out and give Gail Zintech a call. And if you want to know how to reach her, just reach out to me because they're growing a huge real estate business with eXp Realty. Another sponsor we have is Creative Design Solutions, Brianne Nardecchia, Justin Hartman. They're out of Arizona, and they do creative media solutions for any kind of a company. They're helping me with Facebook postings, all kinds of social media postings. They're going to help me with some blog posts. Both young, very smart people that have way more knowledge about things like that than I do, and so they're going to come on board, or they have come on board to help us. I want to always give a shout out to Gary Howe at Kalamazoo Speedway. He and Donna have been huge supporters of us as well, always encouraging and encouraged me from the very beginning to form this association, so I appreciate them. The Midwest Compact Touring Series, they're coming up right after me on their Facebook page. They do a live Facebook on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. So find them on Facebook, Midwest Compact Touring Series, and you can listen to those guys at 8 o'clock. Of course, Send Out Cards is a huge sponsor as well. The greeting card and gifting company that I use to appreciate the people in my life and in my business, and many businesses use it. So if you have any questions about how to show appreciation and gratitude to your customers, reach out to me because it's a fabulous system. Angola Motor Speedway has been a sponsor of ours. They give a discount to any of our members that come to their racetrack. Ileana Stock Car Radio, they support us on their radio station, and we support them both in our magazine and on our podcast. A new one that's come on board is StopSoldierSuicide.org. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little while. Torqued Clothing is a friend of mine. Her name is Elizabeth Prestella. You've probably heard me talk about her. She's the tire specialist for Chris Buescher's NASCAR team. Amazing young woman. And she's launched a clothing line as well for women who work in the garage. And if you are a woman and you try to buy pants that fit you, that are made for a man, you're going to want to check out what Liz has. So watch for that on our Facebook page. A shout out to Jeanette at Crank It Up Media and Car Chicks out of Chicago. Jeanette and I have become good friends, meeting several times at several different events as far as racing and women go, and we support each other. Hallstrom Motorsports, driver development out of the East Coast, and RW Motorsports Marketing in Battle Creek. Woody is our photographer. He shares any pictures that we need. He's great about giving us some designs and logos. He does amazing hero cards. He does outstanding designs for race cars, and then he and Buddy Head wrap them, and excuse me. So make sure that you check all those out. And if you don't know who they are and you want more information, just reach out to me, or you can always look in our magazine and you'll find all of them listed there. So I mentioned, excuse me, I've had a cold, so I apologize. I mentioned about StopSoldierSuicide.org. When I was in Daytona, Ginger Rust, who I've become friends with, she is the marketing person for Ryan Newman's NASCAR team, met her by accident. Isn't that how it goes? But it really wasn't an accident, because she and I hit it off. We've become friends, and she's going to be helping us more and more with the IWMA. And she introduced me to some gentlemen and a couple ladies that are involved with Stop Soldier Suicide. And she knew I'd be interested in the organization and what they're doing to help families recover after they lose someone to suicide. And it's focused on the military, yes, it is, but they have a lot of resources that they can help these families with. And I know a lot of those resources are available for anyone who's lost someone to suicide. So I'm partnering with them. We did a little video with them in Daytona. I was uploading it today. It took forever. I do live in the country, but we had blizzard conditions most of the day here, on and off, and that does affect my internet. So it took forever to upload, but it did finally upload. So I want you to go, after this podcast, go to our page and watch that video, and then go to StopSoldierSuicide.org and see if there's any way that you can help them, even if it's by sharing and getting the word out about what they're doing. They've been here around 8 years. I'd never heard of them. So getting the word out, letting people know what they have to offer and how they can help is really important. I'm going to be partnering with them to get the word out, advertise, talk about them on our podcast, put some things about what they're doing in the magazine. So if you have any kind of interest in doing anything along those lines to either help someone you know that's struggling, or reach out to them and say, I want to help you guys, what can I do? Then I would really like for you to do that. Again, it's StopSoldierSuicide.org. So the next thing I want to mention is we are membership based at the IWMA. As you all know, nothing's free these days. Everything that we do, our website, our events, everything costs something. Even if it's just hosting the website, nothing's free. And so we wanted to give back to the people that have become members for us. So tomorrow night, if you're a member, I want you to listen up. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., right here on Facebook or on Zoom, we're going to do a free class for our members. It's the first one we've done. So we hope to have several of them show up. We're going to do a Zoom call. If you're not sure what that is, it's a free app that we use. I use it all the time when I record podcasts. I love it because I'm able to see the person's face, just like you can see me, but I can't see any of your faces. So when you do a Zoom call, I'm able to see people's faces, hear what they have to say, and it's interactive. And so we're going to do a Zoom call tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. If you are a member, you should have received an email today with the link. If you did not receive that, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll send you the link. And here's what we're going to talk about. So Sunday, I went over to my granddaughter's house, McKenna, and we are working on getting her some marketing partners for the race season. So the first thing we did was came up with a new team name. Her name used to be M&M Motorsports, McKenna and Maddie. Well, Maddie's focusing on volleyball and not racing any longer, and so McKenna wanted to change the name of her team. And tomorrow night, we're going to share our secrets of how we came up with a new team name. And then another thing that we did, we came up with sponsor packages. That's always a tough thing to do. How much should the sponsor package be and what do they get for it? And it's hard. It depends a lot where you live, what kind of track you race at, what kind of series you're in. The bigger you are, the bigger name you are, the more you can get from people probably, but that's not always true either. Martin Truex lost 5 Hour Energy. Those are both some pretty big names. So it's hard for everyone, not just you, not just McKenna and I, but we came up with some pretty good packages, I think, at least for where she's going to be racing here in Kalamazoo. So we're going to share how we did that. Excuse me. Another thing we talked about is, who are we going to contact about being a sponsor? Where are the sponsors? Who are they? What makes a good sponsor for McKenna's team? Yours might be different, but the idea of how to find those sponsors is the same. You know, you have some criteria you go through. You know, McKenna's a young girl. She lives in Richland. So we put some things together and we came up with a pretty good list of people that we're going to be contacting about sponsoring McKenna and helping her race this season. So once you find those marketing partners or those sponsors, what do you say? You know, you can't just send a letter or an email or a text. It's not going to do it, guys. Seeing face-to-face, setting up a meeting, going into their place of business, you have to make what we call belly-to-belly introduction. We're going to go to some of the people that I know, that her parents know, but she's going along. She's going to be the one that tells them about her race car, tells them about her sponsorship packages. I'm just going to be there for moral support and to drive her because she's not 16 yet. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. And then not only what you say, but what do you wear? How do you present yourself? Big deal. You may not think so. You may think putting on a racing t-shirt that you've had a couple years and a pair of jeans is going to cut it. Probably not. You're going to deal with some pretty important business owners, and you want to present yourself as the owner of your team or the driver of your team or whatever your role is. So you need to present yourself in that kind of a way. And then last is how to follow up. And obviously we use send out cards. That's probably the easiest, least expensive, and most effective way to follow up with these people. And we're going to be using send out cards. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow night too. So again, we're going to do that for our members tomorrow night. If you haven't become a member and you want to join, we'd love to have you. Go to iwmanation.com and you can become a member for $59 a year. And if you're not already a member, then you know, that's okay. We understand, but we want to give back to our members. So tomorrow night, McKenna and I are going to share what we did on Sunday about all of those topics I just told you. My biggest goal this year is to get McKenna to say more than 3 words in a row. And so I'm going to push her a little bit to talk a little bit more tomorrow night, but I think it's going to be great. McKenna's coming out of her shell a little bit, and she's excited about race season. Basketball just ended, and she's doing exams, and then we're going right into race season. So she and I are both excited about that. So on the topic of sponsors, I wanted to share a little bit. I read this article today. I'm going to move this over a little bit so I can read you some of the topics. So it says, the article I was reading was how to contact a potential sponsor. And it says, you know, the guy that wrote the article, and for some reason he didn't put his name at the end. Kim is all it says. So, but he was speaking about how, as a business person, he gets a lot of emails from race teams, and not just race teams, lots of different organizations looking for donations or money or sponsorship. So it isn't just about the money. handing out the money, but what is he going to get back from you? And that's one of the things that McKenna and I did on our sponsorship package. Yes, we're asking for cash because it takes cash to buy tires and gas and pit passes and all that. But what is McKenna going to be able to give back other than the decals on her car? So we put together what we're going to tell you more about tomorrow night, but I'm going to share some of it with you right now, because the person that you're talking to is looking for return on investment. It used to be you could put their name on a car and drive around and race, 10, 15 races, and they were happy. Not anymore. It's taking a little bit of creativity to come up with some ideas of giving those sponsors better return on investment. One of the best things you can do is take your car to their place of business, set it up ahead of time. Maybe they have an anniversary sale or an open house or whatever it might be, and offer to bring your car. You have to set some limits. Friday's race day for McKenna, so Saturdays are pretty open. But if you race on Saturday, you might have to say to those sponsors, I can bring my car, but I have to leave by noon or by 2 o'clock because I race and I need to get to the track. So, talk to your sponsors, offer to bring your car, come in your race suit, looking nice, a clean race suit, not one that looks like you rolled in the mud last week. Bring some of your fans and let all your fans know. Let the announcer at the racetrack know, hey, McKenna Snyder is going to be at Soil Farms in Richland on Saturday from 10 to 2. Bring out your kids and they can sit in the car. Your racetrack announcers will often help you publicize where you're going to be and what you're going to do. They have to fill a lot of time being the announcer at the racetrack. It just gives them some more material to talk to the crowd about. So do that. Put it on Facebook. Share it day after day after day. Hey, I'm going to be at Soil Farms on Saturday. Let people know where you're going to be, what time you're going to be there. They can come and get pictures with you, get pictures in the car. Encourage the kids to come and watch. Those are the kind of things that you want to do to give back. Some other things are social media. So that's huge. We all know it, good or bad. But one thing McKenna's going to be doing this year is sharing her marketing partners on social media, on her Instagram page, on her Facebook page, which we're going to have a new team Facebook page for her. She's going to have an Instagram page. So let's say she has Soil Farms and EXP Realty and MW Motorsports Marketing. So she's going to talk about them. She's going to do some little Facebook Lives at the track, standing in front of her car where their logos are on the car. She's going to talk about them or post about them as often as possible. And those businesses in turn are going to agree to stay in touch with her and let her know, hey, we're having a big sale. Hey, we're having an open house. Whatever it is, and she's going to be their marketing partner. That's what those words mean. Marketing partner is not the same as a sponsor. A sponsor is when Mama gives her granddaughter $200 for pit passes for a race. I'm a sponsor. I'm just giving the money away. I expect nothing in return. A marketing partner is going to put his label on your car, his logo, his tagline, whatever it might be. And then you, in return, as the race car driver, as the team owner, really your whole team should be a part of this. You're going to go to their page, like their page, share what they're doing, talk about them on your racing page. It's called marketing partner. So you are partnering with them. We are going to really emphasize to the people that we're going to go talk to that McKenna is their marketing partner, and she will do, and her, her parents, me, whoever's on her team, we'll do everything we can to support and acknowledge those businesses. And that's really what they're looking for. They want exposure. We're also going to invite them to Kalamazoo Speedway one night, and it's going to be our marketing partner party. And we're going to be on the party deck. We may serve pizza, because I think the day we're going to do it's actually National Pizza Day. So we talked about maybe just getting some pizzas and some bottled water and pop, and inviting our marketing partners and their families to come and watch McKenna race. Maybe they've never been to the racetrack. There's a lot of people in Kalamazoo that have heard of Kalamazoo Speedway, but they've never been there. Our goal is to get all of her marketing partners and their families, and maybe they're going to bring, maybe they'll say, hey, let's take our company there for a party, whatever it might be. We're going to offer them 2 tickets for the owner and his wife or whoever, 2 free tickets, and then the rest of them, they can get some tickets at a discount from us. But that will encourage them to come and be a part of what McKenna's doing. Same thing with all of you. Who are you going to invite to come to the track and really be a part of the racing? Not just talk to them at their business office, send them a card or 2, some Facebook post, hey, I did great this week. No, make them part of it. Let them come in the pits afterwards. See really what you're doing. Another thing that I didn't really talk to McKenna about, but I thought about later, is invite them to come and be your crew chief for the night. So if you have 6 sponsors, invite one a night for however many different nights and say, hey, would you like to come and be our honorary crew chief? Have them meet you in the pits, pay their pit pass, let them come into the pit from the time you get there till the time you leave. And let them see firsthand how much work and how much money and time is involved in what some people would call a hobby. So you get there at 2 o'clock, you unload the car, you check all the tires, all the things that you have to do to get that car ready. Yes, there's downtime. That's when you talk to them and walk them through the pits and tell them, introduce them to other people. Make it an event where they really feel like they're part of your team. So that's another way that you can give back. Excuse me. There's so many ways that you can make this partnership one that the business is going to say, wow, I really had no idea that, throwing a few $100 or $1,000, or maybe we could get lucky and get $5,000 at a race driver. And I got all this marketing back for my marketing money. And so instead of paying the newspaper to run an ad, which we know that doesn't happen that much anymore, the papers are getting fewer and farther between. They're all looking for new ways to advertise and reach the demographic that they serve. So that's another thing you want to do, is think about the demographic at the track where you race. Is it mostly blue collar people? Is it younger people? Is it older people? Is it farming people? Is it city people? Is it a mixture of all that? Who is in the grandstand watching? Where do they shop? What do they buy? What kind of cars do they drive? All those different things is your demographic. So you want to partner with a business that has that demographic. And that's another thing that we'll talk about tomorrow night too, is how do you know what their demographic is? And basically the answer to that is you ask them. When you set an appointment or you stop in to see a business, and if you're lucky enough to get to talk to somebody that makes the decisions, one of the things you need to ask is, what is your demographic? Who are you trying to reach? And what products are you really trying to push this summer? And how can I help you do that? So that's how Jeanette says, I love pizza. Jeanette, you need to come May 17th to Kalamazoo Speedway. I'll put you up in the pink room at the house, and I'd love to have you join us. So we've talked a little bit about, the marketing. So what goes into a sponsorship presentation? This person called it a pitch. I don't like that. I don't want to pitch somebody. I want to make a presentation, a professional presentation, and I want them to see me as a professional race car driver. So, you know, you have to give them a little bit of information about yourself, how many years you've been racing, where you're going to be racing. Are you in a series? These are the towns I'm going to be racing at. Or am I always going to be racing at my home track? And, you know, you have that, you tell them that, you tell them a little bit of background about yourself and your race team. You know, I've had the same race team for the last 5 years. I started racing when I was 8 years old. Whatever it might be, that's your story. Tell your story to the potential marketing partner. Not a long story, not a drawn out story of every race that you won or crashed or whatever. Just a little short story about who you are, why you're passionate about racing, and how you can see that you and this person, this business owner, can partner together to make it successful for you and for him. So, you know, if you have some current sponsors, you might want to take a list of those along, because maybe the potential sponsor is one that would work well combined with some that you already have. You don't necessarily maybe want to try to find businesses that would be in competition with each other. That's probably not going to work very well. But there's a lot of business people out there. So start making your list. I told McKenna that she needs to watch TV. If they're advertising on TV, they have advertising money. If they have billboards on Gall Road where we live, they have advertising money. So look around where you live. Look in the newspaper if you get one. Look on the billboards. Drive down the main street of your town that has most of the businesses. Make a list. Make an appointment. If you can't get an appointment, then drop in and say hello. Have your packages typed up nice on a sheet of paper, and leave them the marketing proposals and how to get a hold of you, and then reach back out. They're not going to call you, probably. You have to follow up with them. And I think that's where most people drop the ball. They think that if they drop in and leave a marketing proposal for a business, excuse me, that business is going to be so excited, they're going to call you right away. They're not going to call, probably. You have to follow up. You have to either call. We're going to send a card, depending on the business and how well we know them. They might get a couple brownies and a card. But we're going to follow up with a card, and then we're going to follow up with a phone call. So don't expect them to reach out to you unless it's a very, it just doesn't happen. I can tell you. So those are some thoughts. You know, this guy had some good ideas, you know, about taking the list of your sponsors. You know, take a picture of the track where you're going to be racing. You know, give some examples of, like I said, how you can help promote his business or her business. Do a little bit of research before you go. McKenna had Soil Farms last year on her car, and we all go there. They're one of my favorite places to go and get vegetables and pumpkins, and I actually had my Christmas card picture taken there this year. We love that company. They have great product. We know them. We know their family. And so, you know, we know them enough to know when we go there what they have to offer and who their customers are. But what if you're going to go to a business that you don't know who they are? You've only heard them on TV and you don't really know what their products are. Then you need to do your research before you go. Who are they? What kind of products do they have? What does it look like? How far is their reach? Do they just have customers here in Kalamazoo, or do they send products all over the world? You need to find out some of those things. You can find anything nowadays on Google. So Google it. You'll find out what those people are. So that's a little bit about the marketing I wanted to share with you. I would encourage you, if you have any questions, to send me some questions. Like for future podcasts, hey, I'd like to know this, and I specialize mostly in marketing, branding, social media, follow-up, that kind of thing. Don't ask me how to do anything to the brakes of your car or how to set up your tires, because you got the wrong gal. I'm going to help your team get sponsors, marketing partners. I'm going to help you learn how to give back so that they come back and partner with you next year. But I'm not the mechanic. So send me some questions that you'd like to have answered on future issues of the podcast, and I'd be happy to see if I can find those answers and share those with all of you. And let's see what's the last. Oh, yes. So another thing I wanted to share with you is I do a lot of work with the Midwest Compact Touring Series. Again, they're on right after me. They're on at 8 o'clock on their Facebook page. And we're gonna partner again this year and do some things together. One of the things we're gonna do, April 13th and 14th, they're gonna race in Sandusky, Ohio, which is where, it just left me, but Cedar Point, where Cedar Point is. It'd be probably a little chilly to be at Cedar Point that day, but they're going to sponsor a race in Sandusky, April 13th and 14th, and they've asked me to partner with them. So I'm actually going to be sponsoring the Easter egg hunt for the kids. We're trying to contract with the Easter Bunny to actually be there, and we're going to do a 50-50. So if you're in the Sandusky area or you want to drive in the race that weekend, go to the Midwest Compact Touring Series page and let Drew know that you're interested in racing. He'll give you all the details. Bring your kids. We're going to do, I think, close to 600 Easter eggs with some kind of candy in them are going to be spread out all over the racetrack. So we're going to do that, and hopefully the Easter Bunny will be there, and we'll do a 50-50. So I hope to see you there. And one of the last things that I have on my list to talk to you about tonight is I've been talking to the owners at New Paris Speedway. There are 3 ladies that are going to be running that track this year with the help of a lot of other people, and I've met them, wonderful people. We're going to try to do a meet and greet or some kind of an event for the women at that track coming up sometime this season. We haven't got the date narrowed down yet, but we're in talks with New Paris, and then I'm also been talking to Tony at South Bend Motor Speedway. They have quite a large number of women and girls that race at that track, and I didn't get down there last summer, but this summer they're high on my list. I'm going to get to South Bend Motor Speedway and do something special for the women that race there. Again, a meet and greet or whatever it might be. We're going to figure that out and the date, so we'll let you know when those are. But if you are the promoter at a track or you race at a track and there's a good number of women that race there, or there's something special that your track does, they have ladies' night or whatever, please reach out to me and let me know. We're going to try to do quite a number of different tracks this year. So reach out to us and we'll try to get you on the schedule if we can. And then we're also doing Racing Girls Rock Night at Kalamazoo Speedway. And we'll let you know about the date for that and what we're going to be doing there as well. So that's pretty much everything I had on my list for tonight. I had a gal lined up to be on with me, but she got sick and she wasn't able to do it. So hopefully we have an interview next week for you to listen to. Be sure you go to the Facebook page and listen to the little interview I did with the Stop Soldier Suicide. It's only about 7.5 minutes long. And learn a little bit about that. Go to their stopsoldiersuicide.org. See what you can do to help. Spread the word about what they're doing. We'd love to have you be a part of that with us as well. So, Hey, Drew, I see you. Hi. So that's pretty much everything I had for tonight. If you want to be a part of the webinar tomorrow night via Zoom, then reach out to me. You can become a member at iwmanation.com. We love and need our members, and so we want to give back, and that's what we're going to try to do tomorrow night and probably for the next several weeks on Wednesday night. We're going to just get together, share ideas. I'll share some things that I've learned that I think might help you. And then those of you that are on with us can share ideas about what works and hasn't worked for you as far as sponsorships and anything at all about your race team. So hopefully we see a lot of you tomorrow night. If you are a member and you did not get the email, make sure you let me know and I'll resend it to you. And again, thanks to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without them. I listed them at the beginning of the show, and I'll try to do that more often and make sure they get the credit they deserve. So I'm going to let you go. Hope you guys had a great week so far. It's been, wow, cold and snowy in Kalamazoo, and I'm over it. And I'm ready for spring and the true race season. And I know you guys are too. So have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.